Strikers Charge has been in development now for just over 17 months. The team, I believe, is 37 people large, and most of them being on once we got out of the pre-production stage. This year with Mario Strikers Charge, we wanted to focus on three main pillars to help improve upon the first version of the game that was very successful. Character differentiation was one of our main pillars, along with the Wi-Fi, of course, being an important pillar to our game, and adding more skill depth to the gameplay that we had from last year. So being able to actually have characters that meant something to the gameplay, putting a person online to compete against other players, and putting the controls in your hands at the end of the day. There's 20 characters in the game this year, 12 captains and 8 sidekicks. So we've added 4 new captains to the mix and 4 new sidekicks to the mix. I can tell you that the new sidekicks are Drybones, Boo, Shy Guy, and Monty Mole. And as for the new captains, I can tell you that Bowser now is a playable character. And if you watch the intro movie to the game, you can actually see some of the other new characters that you will unlock when you play the single player mode. 17 total stadiums are in the game this year. We've added 9 new ones to the mix, and 6 of those have new interactive environments that impact the gameplay and create new obstacles for the players to try to play around. Some examples of new environments I can give you are Thunder Island, for example, features no walls on the side of the stadium, so you can actually knock people off the side of the stadium, making a team short-handed for a brief period of time. If you're having trouble knocking people off the stadium, tractors, cows, and fish will get blown across the pitch, and they'll knock them off for you. So one way or another, we're going to send people off the stadium. In addition, we have the Sand Tomb, which is more of a desert-based environment. And this one has sort of a risk-reward element to it. The field is surrounded with quicksand, and if you choose to run through the quicksand, it really slows down your character. If you want to run up the middle, which is made more of a cement or a concrete surface, what we do is drop thwomps on you from up above. So it creates interesting tactical decisions that a player has to make when they're playing the game in that environment. The Wi-Fi game mode, I mean, this game was built for multiplayer, so being able to connect to the Wi-Fi service just makes sense for this title. In terms of what you can do through the Wi-Fi, there's 2 different types of game modes. There's both ranked and battling against your friends. The rank mode is sort of our competitive mode. Here is where you play for ranking points. The goal, of course, trying to be the #1 player over the course of the week. Our seasons are 1 week long, which gives people the ability to jump into a season at any time. So if you get in on the last day of the season, you just simply have to wait a day before the next season resets. So it's really nice to come back to that each and every week. If you're a person that doesn't want to shoot to be the #1 player but is still looking for some stardom, if you manage to get the most points during a given day on the season, you'll be what's called the striker of the day. And what that means is your me face, which is your avatar, will be displayed on every single person's Wii when they log on to play Mario Strikers Charge. And that's sort of a real-time reward. It's constantly changing and moving throughout the day. If you're just looking for casual play, you can battle your friends, create your friends on a friends list, hop online, see who's connected, create a game using the cheats and stuff that you unlock in the offline modes, and just have a game for bragging rights against your buddies. For the offline, you can play up to 4 players on a system, so from 4 against the AI to 2-on-2, 3-on-1, 2-on-1, it's pretty interchangeable. For the Wi-Fi, we allow up to 2 people to connect on a single Wii. 2 Wiis connect, that's the maximum that we offer. For a friends game though, if you and I were playing on a couch against 2 other buddies, I could actually play on their team for a 3-on-1 match despite not being at their place. For ranked games though, we make sure that we have the same team set up for each team's competing, since we are playing for ranking points, in which case you can play as a single player, or if you have a buddy over, invite a friend and play 2-on-2. We experimented with the Wii Remote for about 3 months at the very beginning of the project and wanted to give all the new gesture-based controls a fair shake before we decided what to put in the game. Our mandate, of course, was to try and maintain the integrity of the first game, since it was so widely successful based on the gameplay. Once everything was said and done, we found that our game was so reactive and so responsive, we didn't want to just force gestures in and slow the gameplay down. So what we decided to do is you can shake the Wii Remote to hit a player, which is rewarding and feels natural and seems to link up to what you'd expect to do with these controllers. And then as well, you use the Wii Remote to point at the screen, and during the Mega Strike, when you have an opportunity to save the balls, simply move the goalie's hands around and click on the balls to make the saves. We only use it in those 2 places, but it makes a lot of sense, feels great, and we've had a lot of compliments on it so far. We've added in super abilities to the power-ups this year, and essentially each of the different captains has their own unique power-up. I can give you some examples, like Donkey Kong has the Thunder Wham, which he jumps up into the air, comes down and smashes into the ground, causing an earthquake that knocks over anybody that gets in its way. Peach has an ability called the Freeze Frame, in which she tries to lure people in as close as possible to her, and then summons cameras down from the sky Any characters caught in the flashes will be locked inside a black and white picture for X amount of time, leaving those players rendered useless for that amount of time. Essentially, we tried to create stuff that matched what each character represented and create 12 unique power-ups that take, easy to pick up and play and get gratifying rewards, but at the same time you want to learn how to master these things. And the better you become at using them, the more effective you're going to be on the field of play. Mario hybrid games such as this are built for multiplayer. Like I said before, multiplayer is the heartbeat of this game, and you're going to want it in your library because you're just going to go back to it again and again and again, because competing against people through the Wi-Fi is going to be one of the most addictive things I think that our product has to offer.